grandma's party. This is how we get down.
Yo, can you hear me?
Some educational things he got popping, and him as he's a guru actually. I mean, the man's a guru. So we're gonna talk about some things. You know what I mean? But Money Corner, what's popping, man?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, dog.
Okay, good, good. I thought I was having problems with my sound. I couldn't hear you for a while. I was waiting. I just heard you
No,
like
at
in a
first he told me, then we played a couple songs, and I started talking, and then he was like, "Oh man, you know you're there." So okay, here we here. We here. So what's popping, man? What's going on? Money Corner, your time, Master Ether. What's the word?
man.
First. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? How everybody?
We doing all right. We hanging in there.
We're good.
We good.
True,
We
true.
chilling.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to
If
hear.
you see me here, I'm all right.
You good? As long as we see you, you good?
If you don't see me on a Sunday, start asking questions. You
True, 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 true,
know what I
true.
mean? So, what's popping with the Money Corner this week, man? What you got for us?
Money Corner is, basically it's just almost a recap. I got a little trivia, but mainly it's a recap of everything that's been going down. I'm pretty by now everybody gotten their stimulus checks, so got an opportunity to
Not everybody
stimulate.
got it.
Came and went.
Listen, not everybody
Yeah.
got it, and who got it might have spent it because the conditions that's going on
You
right
know?
now. We're gonna go into all that right away.
Niggas bought all the crab
No, we
legs
can
they
go
could
into
eat.
it. Listen, some people spend it unfortunately the wrong way. Some people did the right things with it. We don't know, but
Well, the
hopefully
thing
they
is,
got what they needed so far.
you got your stimulus, and it's a few things. Either you was behind the gun and you had to take the money and get yourself up to date, or just pay whatever you had to pay, or you was in a situation where you was able to actually tuck a little bit away for a rainy day, and then maybe hopefully you can create this thing where you got a foundation or some savings and you can start investing. But for the most part, you got some free money. Some money you wasn't expecting. Now, if you wasn't in a situation you was getting evicted, you was homeless or something like that, that money should have been utilized correctly. So
I agree.
the reason I was saying is that, you have to stay the course. We want to stay diligent and stay the course. So we know what the 4 pillars are. We know what the sound money principles are. So if you're practicing some of those things, you're going to be building wealth instead of giving your money out to somebody. And, if you got to catch up with your bills is one thing. I'm not speaking to that audience. I understand how it is. But if you already caught up with your bills and everything, then you should be in the situation that you're actually learning and practicing sound money principles and really taking into consideration those 4 pillars, which is, making sure that you making enough money, first of all, to take care of yourself. You're paying yourself first and you're investing in yourself, but you're paying yourself first and you're saving your money. You're paying down your debt. Your credit is good to go. And now you can start to get a what we call a recovery fund, or something where you have this savings where you have something in case there's an emergency, what we call an emergency fund. That's like the last thing. That's the 4 pillars right there. So once you get that, right, you got the 4 pillars. That's what I started off. That's the first show. When you get the 4 pillars started,
back in the day,
right. When you get the 4 pillars started, then you can start to invest after you got those things. You can't invest beyond that, because what's going to happen? You'll give money to one thing. You're like, oh, I'm investing. And then something comes up and you got to sell your investment just to get that money so you can pay a bill. That means that you're not ready to invest, and you're being immature, or you're having premature actions. You need to get yourself solid and develop a strategy. Your long-term goal would be to invest, but your short-term goal right now is really to get your head above water and be able to practice those 4 principles. So this way it's not a real hard thing anymore. At this point, look, I got good money coming in. I'm gigging on the side. The money's good. We got a little money extra. We done paid off all our debt. We got a mortgage or maybe a car note, but everything else is paid off. There's no other debt going out. No high interest rates on no credit cards and all that kind of shit. We won't have none of that going on. Now we got enough money saved up. Now we got an emergency fund. Now we can invest. If you're not invest, you're going to work for your money until you're 70.
To your 70.
Right. Social Security is planned to run out in 2050. 2035 is when they go and they relook at Social Security again, and Social Security look real janky in 2035.
Say that again. Janky.
It looked janky. It looked real janky for 2035. So if you really counting on that, you're going to be living off the system and waiting for the government to give you a handout. And that's just what it is, man. And you can ignore it all you want to, but it is what it is. A lot of people going to be on welfare.
I'll be real with you, man. I can't, because see, it's layers to what you just said based off what I've even heard some people say. Like what you're saying now, when you've said it before, you've said it many a times. These are just the principles. You're telling the truth. And then as I hear people in the rooms I be interacting with, and or rooms I might go in and listen to when I'm driving, because I don't be listening to the radio like that, right? So I rather sit in the room and listen to people debate about certain things on a certain topic. And everything you're saying would solve a solution to a lot of people's problems that you're mentioning right now in the money quarter that we speak about every week. But they're emotionally tied to other things that they think gonna come and help them, so to speak. Like people are really still relying on the system to come give them something. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
What I'm saying, like before you come back, I want to ask you a question. I mean, I'm giving you some context before I ask you the question. Feel where I'm coming from?
Right.
So as I'm sitting in the rooms with these different peoples and how they moving with the situation, it seems as if certain people think the system's going to come save them in some kind of way. They're still relying on the system, and they're still, and it's on, look, this is on deeper level, just economics, because we still got a lot of people that sitting around each other and haven't even really physically met each other, and they're on a social media app that's making money off of them and us, because I'm involved too. I'm not going to exclude myself. I be on that bitch too. So, but I'm watching what's going on, and from my evaluation and the conversations that's taking place, a lot of people still on the wrong narrative. There's a lot of people still not. You understand what I'm saying, Cole? It's a lot of people still like. There's a lot of catching up to do for a lot of people. Like a lot of our people, from a historical standpoint, from an economical standpoint, from a political standpoint, we're behind the ball. Like the majority of us are behind the ball. If I had to grade it, we're failing. Like we're failing. Like right now, I hate to say it, no ego involved, no insecurities. As a whole, in my mind, because of what I how you talk about every week and how I hear what I hear, a lot of us are failing. We would not pass the class. We would not pass go and collect $200 on the Monopoly table. Real shit. No, I'm being for real. I said it that way, but I wanted people to catch it. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes people don't catch what I'm saying. And I admit that. I ain't act like I'm the you know what I mean? What Charlemagne, the guy who's staying on Purpose Club, I'm not the highest grade dispensary. I get that part. I'm not either. I don't know everything. But what I do know, and I'm gonna talk about Charlemagne, the real Charlemagne, in a minute. But he was a nigga, by the way, too, y'all. So that's why I can correlate them, kind of fit to a certain situation. Either way, I want to ask you this question. What do you feel about the people that's behind the ball that are not up to date from a historical standpoint or really what took place with our people that are like me and you, because me and you related. We blood related. You know what I'm saying? It's different from other people that might not understand that part. Like on a real tip, people that look like us, what are we going to do with all the division that's happening just off the fact that of the education, the financial different gauges of ranges of us too, like from somebody like yourself or somebody that's poor as hell, you know what I'm saying? That look like us. How are we going to gauge to get everybody up to speed with this information, particularly in your field of what you talk about tonight, dealing with financial literacy, the money corner, what how can you help me with that? You understand where I'm going with that? Like, where do we start first for the people that don't have an idea at all? You know what I mean? I ain't talking about people on a different level. They understand this, but they don't understand that. You get where I'm going? Like, where are we going to go to the base level if we had to really help our people that don't understand what's going on and give them a solution to find their way out of that situation they're in? How you?
Yeah, I think that first it starts with the right platform. If you can get your voice out there, you can now start to teach the people something different. If you notice, like I said before, we don't have a platform. At one point, hip hop was our platform for us to be able to vocalize how we felt about things. We don't have that platform any longer, and we're not able to share things so we can all get on code. We can try to say we woke, and we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that we paint that narrative, and everybody else is more woke than the next person. But essentially, we're spending. I just got off a call with some of my Haitian brethren. Once again, those same people with the 1804 thing, Professor Bello, and they said something that was interesting. This was this week, and what I thought was interesting, it says that we waste so much time gossiping and debating, and I think that that's one of our issues primarily, because from back in when Facebook was first around and all these groups got invented, we wasted a lot of time debating each other and coming up with facts. And it's like, okay, my book proves your book was wrong. And it's like, who cares, man? At this point right now, you haven't decreased the wealth gap. You're not getting the right information across to the people so they can be financially literate. And that's why you have a bunch of people that do dumb shit. And as a group, you're not really making any movements. Dr. Claude tell you, since 1850, you still own less than one half of a percent of the wealth that's in America. Some of that is about design, and some of that is, because we have redline and we have all these other discriminatory acts, and we have all these other things. We have antebellum slavery on the Jim Crow, but some of that stuff is still some of our responsibility. And our responsibility is that we need to get this information out. So I want to be able to create a media channel on the blockchain so we can be able to have that information, and it's decentralized and it's also not censored.
That's a great idea.
That's something that we definitely need, because what we have now is where every time you get on a particular platform, they start to censor you. And, they have people like Nabisco and Kellogg and, Procter and Gamble. They're spending big money like on YouTube, and they don't want to hear this rhetoric. They're not going to have the commercial air. Their commercial ain't going to come on before you start talking all this crazy stuff. They're not going to put that on there. So they're going to censor you, and they'll shadow ban you, and you won't even get your subscribers, everything. They'll just put you on a list.
Matter of fact, yo, B, I'm going to get your wisdom. That's how I know, but you're on point, because, I mean, these rooms be from people that's 60. I be hearing elders, people that's old enough to be our parents in these rooms, down to people that's in their 20s and 30s, right? It's the age range that be in these rooms on Clubhouse talking about the topics that's going on. They decide to speak up, right? And what you just said, I mean, roundabout, everything that we've been doing on the Townhouse Party, kudos to us. You know what I mean? We're actually touching the pulse of everything they be talking about. Literally, I be hearing it. And everything that you touch on economically, I be hearing in these rooms as well. You know what I'm saying? From different people that's on game and other ones that's not. And the debates come in, and sometimes lessons come in. And then in the result of it, what you just said, dealing with like, I'm trying to figure out how I give this back to you. Like, I want to make sure I say it right. If we really think about what's going on right now in America and dealing with the economic situation of the wealth gap of America, and dealing with also the politics of how certain people are looking for reparations here in America, and this is the debates that's going on right now. ADOS, and you mentioned 1804 with like, people are debating about all these things. It's so I'm trying to figure out how the way to ask you this question, and it got me lost because there's so much stuff that's going on. Like, our people are all over the place right now.
There it is. We don't have to be. We don't really have to be.
We don't.
That is You heard me. He keep me talking about escapism. That's a form of escapism. You don't really
Tell
want
me
to
about
deal
it.
with it. You don't want to deal with the elephant in the room. You want to just keep going on, and you're ready to fight yourself. You know, it's one of those classic syndromes like this right here. I don't have a problem with you riding and you want to just blow something up. You want to, throw some fire on something because you're mad. Those things happen. People done it. People done that throughout time, and they'll keep doing that throughout time. But I used to always be like, when I was young, I used to say, dang, man, why they don't take that action to City Hall? Why you want to fuck other people's shit up that's in your neighborhood? Like, you're going to have a problem going to the community store after this because the community store burnt down. So you can't go get your shit. You don't messed up your vibe. It used to be convenient for you to go to this store, that store. Now you don't mess up all the stores in your neighborhood. If you're so mad, be mad at the system. Go down to City Hall. So it's the same thing. Like with this situation, it's like, look, we got a problem and we want to sit around and keep debating about it and keep talking about it. And what we do is we want to just keep tearing each other down. Essentially, that's what we're doing. It's not, there's no building up of anything. And because we're not building up, that we're just sitting around chasing our tail. And that creates, it makes you feel good because you're like, man, I just mentally masturbated. I got it off. Look how great I was, man. You saw how good I sounded. I was better than that person. And it's like, for what? You compared your facts to that person. Essentially, you have no definitive proof that you are anywhere closer to the facts than that other person. And that's just what it is. And you say, oh, I got this facts from this book. Look what book I got. It's like, okay, great, dude. That's really awesome. What are you doing to actually move the needle? And that's what we're not focusing on. We're focusing on a whole bunch of fucking Puff the Magic Dragon shit. And it's starting to get really annoying. And we have to be on some real shit and start to really compete. We're not competing. All other kind of groups are competing. We don't have our engineers in cryptography, and we ain't out here competing in this new digital age. We do, but they ain't on the same scale. When I go to these projects and I look at these platforms, I don't be seeing no brothers and no sisters on them. And I can go to, I done went to at least 150 of them, and I ain't seen them yet. This is a new age, and we still around here talking about, man, I'm from Atlantis. No, man, I'm from this and that. Man, I'm a Moor. Man, you don't know I came with my fez on. And this is that. Black, don't call me black. And it's like, man, y'all sound so goddamn stupid, man. And you wasting time and you messing up the youth because of you trying to learn something and you think you teaching them something and you ain't teaching them nothing how to survive in this world. You're teaching them a whole bunch of bullshit. And that's why we got a whole bunch of dumbass people walking around here can't do nothing. They ain't making a mark in the world and they can't do nothing when it come down to business. Business is everything. You out here waiting for a motherfucker to give you a job. Why you ain't creating a job? Because you don't know how to create it. And you ain't trying to learn how to get one. You want to sit up here and debate people on the damn line. It's the dumbest thing I ever seen. And it ain't even your platform. You wasting your intellectual property on dumb shit. Compile your information and put it in the book and sell it on there. And let me see it go to the moon. Then we good money. Other than that, keep that thing to yourself. Create that little empire. Be an emperor. Be a kingdom. Create a kingdom. Be a king. And do that in your own household. And let me see you raise up. We need to decrease this wealth gap, and we need to get our mind on point. Even if the guy don't come give you no reparations, where are you on point on trying to get it for yourself? If that don't never happen, because I'm tired of all that bullshit. I don't get involved with that. As soon as dudes start doing that, I'm like, man, get out of here. Number one, I blow your head off with my grown man actions. I sit on my grown man throne and throw you all the way off of your dumb shit. I don't care if you're a Moor, you're a Muslim. I will throw you off your shit. I know your shit and then some, and then I know how to survive in this real world. So now coming to the real world, you gonna get fucked. That bullshit ass bullshit that you talking about, I already been there. That's a mode of thought that I done passed already. And you ain't gonna put that. You got that thrash me or push me off to the side. I will eat that up. Cook mine from them SETI days. Remember SETI back in the day, the Polite, the
listen. I heard somebody bring up SETI the other day.
That stuff hilarious, man.
Hey, look. Man. I heard somebody mention the other day SETI in a lean.
He's still around? This dude is still around?
Hey, Cole.
Yeah, I guess bro, he's still here and there.
Somebody mentioned SETI beating up on a lean bay. And I ain't calling nobody out, by the way, just to calling them out. But I'm saying it because of the fact that YouTube debates, you know what I mean, work a certain way. And how YouTube debates work, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Like, I watch that shit. This is better than watching TV stuff. And so I have a different perspective. I'm into history. I love to know the history. But what you're saying is still real. That's why I relate to you too. That's why I balance it out. You know what I mean? Like, I like it because I'd rather not watch TV than that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather hear that than that. But still, I agree with you on from an economic standpoint, from a poweronomic standpoint, we need to get on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? And it can't be caught up in all the semantics and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's either you're applying it or you're not applying it at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, apply it. If you're going to talk about it, be about it. Keep it moving. Let's go. Now, if you're not going to be on what this is, leave that alone and get to your money however you know how to get to your money.
Exactly.
That's what's going to take care of your family. That's what's going to allow you to get to the political level with change in your community. I get what you're saying, bro. Look. Am I wrong what I just said?
No, you're exactly. I'm 100%. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, that's the core reason. That's our core issue right there, man. That's our core issue right there.
I have patience.
Core issue.
And I know you're on point because I've said this thing. I gave solutions at least 5, 6 times. On the low, in the casual conversation. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, Mac, you know, blase, blah, blase, blah. You know what I mean? And, okay. A word? Yeah. Come on Clubhouse. Next day, we all having a conversation about this topic. Just be all building on a topic. We're supposed to be building on a topic. And then certain people come in, oh, yo, I see you, yo, bro, I just told you. You have to wait until we bring the topic back up. I ain't going to go back into that right now. Because it's not the topic of conversation. I like to get, though, because I'm into it like that. Like, this is my fault. You know what I mean? Because I could have really been a professor in college teaching a college class on history. You know what I mean? I went to college for that. That was my minor. You know what I mean? So I know history on a level. I was always in love with history. From high school, I was in love with history. But even when I dropped out of college, I keep it real, I dropped out that bit. And then did what I did. But at the end of the day, I loved history that much that I still stayed on history, especially Black history. You know what I mean? What they call Black African American history. Feel me? That's the only thing that I kept out of school. When I dropped out of college, it's the only thing besides handling that business. Besides handling that business, that's the only thing that I said, okay, I love history, so I'm always going to stay tapped in on history. You know what I mean? And even when it comes to religion, it's still, to me, I look at it from a historical standpoint. I don't get caught up in the dogmatic standpoint of it. But a lot of people do. See what I'm saying? And you know that. We got family that's caught up in dogmatic stuff. What do you mean? It's Easter Sunday right now. Feel me? And people can be fucked up financially, but they still giving their energy to something that's not applying to their lifestyle. It's going to help them get out their situation. But they'll make time for Easter Sunday.
Yeah, that's
with all the vaccines, with all the shit that's going on in the world. This is what people can make time for doing certain things. It's important to them still. Even with viruses that's supposed to supposedly kill everybody. In hospitals, I can go into another point. See,
you got to understand the historical, like once the thing for history, everybody got their own perspective and what they want to focus on in history. You have to be able to get a full scope. You can't just get lost and get sucked in with one aspect of it. So, for instance, if you go back to Black people in here in this America during slavery, during Christmas and most holidays, we were given that holiday pass. So we were able to see our husband, or see our children, or see our mother, and see other people that were in other plantations that were in the surrounding areas, or even farther away. So that's one reason why we get turned up, and we're so busy getting turned up. We're like, man, Black people do it. We throwing it up. But that's why, because you were given that holiday pass and you were able to see your partner. And that's something you did. You got the butter biscuits. It was a whole thing. You even got the whole nine, because if you were able to do this holiday, you got this holiday pass to be able to travel. And that's why you see a lot of Black people be turned up on these holidays, because they're used to that. That's something that's been passed down as a tradition, but it's not something we need to be focused on right now at this time, because we got work to do. Other groups is teaching their children from young, our children, on some dumb shit. And I ain't saying all of them, because we doing our thing to a certain degree. But when we get caught up in these little things, these little areas, these little segments where we just focusing on debating each other back and forth, man, we lost ourselves. Right at that point right there, you lost, because you're debating something that's trivial, and you will never come up with any concrete evidence that I'm more right than you. where everybody else is creating things in the right now and they're shaping and molding the world that we live in, and you're worrying about stuff that's either here nor there. It's like that right there just it blows my mind how you get so caught up in it. And I feel like, you know what it is? You can't digest anything else in the world, and you can't compete. So it's like, let me get in that. I can do that. I can compete you on that. And it's like, yeah, just live in the back of your mom's house in your garage, and you can debate that all you want to. And you'll watch 20 years go by, and you won't do nothing but still be debating those same facts. And that happens to be a fact. I've watched brothers for the last 12, 13 years that I know personally from other parts of the world, other parts of the country, that do the same thing. And I'm watching them in the same spot that they was in 12 years ago, the same spot. And I'm saying to myself, I say that's not a coincidence. It's too many of them. And that's where it be at. And it's like brothers want to get caught. It's like, you can't get power out here in the world. So let me get power on these little circuits, these closed-in circuits, like the Facebook groups and the clubhouse and whatever they got now. Let me get power there. And it's like, man, you can get power where you assume power, where you go out and you empower yourself. That's why I say about being able to get this education and being able to learn something on your own. That's teaching yourself something. That's actually investing in yourself so you can learn something. Learning this other stuff that ain't gonna move the bar, who cares? It could be something on health too. It ain't gotta be all about finances. It could be something about health. It could be education, it could be financial literacy. It could be about dealing with politics in the world. It's a lot of things to learn out there that you can actually practice. Yep. But that stuff there is neither here nor there at this point. And it's not helping us move it forward. It's just helping us play around and chase our tail. And people happy with that. I'm not happy. I stay away from them groups and people like that. You with that? I like to stay with my peers. You're not a peer. My peer is about getting that paper, moving the bar, and investing back in the community and helping people and educating them. Other than that, you want to do that, you stay away from me because I ain't got time for that. You're not moving the bar forward. I want to be with Black excellence, not that crap, that gutter mentality where like, oh, this, and that, and be making a victim and be complaining all the time. I know what's out there. I've been poor and done a whole bunch of shit. I done come off some dirt shit, and I come from the swamp shit. But I know what, bro. I pulled myself out of that shit and got my shit on the right level, and I ain't asked nobody for no handout. So it is what it is on that.
You gotta tell me.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is on that. So and everybody can't do that.
I know our background. Our background ain't.
Get yourself in line with that.
We don't come from no rich folk.
Right. I went back to my mentor shit. I tell Tia all the time, my wife all the time. One guy, when I was staying in apartments with the mushrooms growing out the damn side of the wall and carpet wet and roaches running all over the place, one dude was my mentor, and I rode that home. And I ain't let him intimidate me. I wasn't jealous of him like most dumb people be. You jealous of somebody because they rocking hard? I use that, and I use that energy and his understanding of how to move in the world to actually help me move and get out of my situation. And that's why I say you need to have a mentor, because somebody who's actually moving like you want to move, you need to be clinging on to them people and finding out how they moving like that so you can get yourself out of the situation. Because if not, you're going to find another 10 years, you're going to be in the same spot, the same shit. And you're going to say, Dave, man, 10 years passed and I ain't done nothing. That's why you have to get yourself a mentor, or either lock in, man. Either lock in. 10 years prior, 10 years from now, it's 2021. So 2011, if you ain't did nothing, move 1 hour older since then, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself and your goals and realign yourself with what's good.
Man, listen here, man. You're right.
Simple and plain.
People got to get the priorities straight.
I mean, I can. Sometimes people like a lot of detailed shit to escape from the simple shit. No, for real.
The simple shit is too hard.
Because the simple shit,
you know what I'm saying?
Be the hardest shit. Yeah. And that detailed shit allow you to mix in and make your own wheel. Mm-hmm. I had somebody tell me a long time ago. He said, you can dress the wheel up how you want to dress the wheel up, but the wheel is still the wheel. How you gonna make a roll? Just like that. You see, you dress it up how you want to dress it up, Mac. I was like, look at that nigga like, the fuck? He was like, but how you gonna make a roll? Cause mine rolling. Are you rolling? Or you want to dress it up that way? Dress it up that way. Dress it up this way. Is it rolling? Or it's not rolling? It's not working? That means you need to change it because the wheel is still the wheel. Feel me?
It's simple, man.
It's very simple. So if your shit ain't working, something ain't right. That's like simple economics. No matter what you run into, whatever you're trying to apply yourself to, I've learned that to understand that if this wheel ain't working, we gotta look at something different. It's not working. It's not rolling. I ain't gotta get caught up in knowing all the details of everything. When I get into something that's not starting to roll, that means the pin's not moving. Everything you just said is not moving in a way. Now you can escape into the details. I mean, you know what I mean? But the real thing is results. Results. I admit that on my own self. Results. You can be comfortable sometimes in your non-results. In your non-results, you can be comfortable, make excuses, and escape into ways why you're sitting where you're sitting, knowing that that's not where you want to be.
But that's the thing; those escapes are virtual, so it's just a mindset. But you're still basically in the same spot in reality that you were. Like you said, your boy 12, 15, 20 years ago. You're still in the same spot debating these things that help you escape from that moment. So you just keep escaping for that moment, and that moment turns into 20 years, and you don't even realize it.
You didn't realize it, right?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. In this situation, if I was going to pick a escape route, my escape is always history. I love history, so if I want to get away from my everyday situations I'm dealing with, I go to history. I want to talk to other people that I tapped in on that part of history because the most mysterious thing about ourselves in real life, if I'm escaping to find something, is about us or our past, our ancient past. It seems that our past has escaped us. And he used to have a saying, if you don't know where you're from, you can't know where you're going. Some of us are talented enough and disciplined enough not to know exactly where they're from and still be able to know where they're trying to go. They found their purpose, they found their intent, they found their niche, they found how to move the wheel. But in real life, the average person dealing with all the things against them, especially, I mean, if you were born in the 70s, just to keep it simple, I know you were born in the 70s. I was born in the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the tail end of the 70s, so I'm really more of an 80s baby. But I can say I was born in the 70s.
Yeah,
But
you kind of grew up in the late '80s kind of vibe.
you mean grew up? I was born in the
Meaning
70s.
that you grew up, meaning that you was a teenager. It's like the same
Right,
thing with me.
right,
I grew up in the '70s, but I wasn't popping in the '70s. Was out hanging out and smoking a
that's what I
split,
mean.
drinking a
Right.
beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't get to experience the '70s like that. I was a kid, like a little boy.
Exactly. Now,
That's what I'm
see,
saying.
that's being real because I agree with you. See, that's why even though I can say I was born in 79, I ain't do shit in 79. I ain't do shit in 82.
Now
I
I
ain't do
remember
shit in
I
85.
was like 7 years old, and then you know what I'm saying. So I get it.
Get it right. So to me, my real, I ain't, that's why I don't give a damn. Anybody tell you, I jumped off the bench at 12, 13 years old fully. And I was in Florida, right here where I'm at right now. Feel me? My first everything in real life that is important to me that I can remember outside of something little, I can say I can't remember other things that happened when I was in Virginia where I was born or my stays in certain places. I ain't scared to say I stayed in Japan for 3 years even too. I remember all of that vividly. But all my true experiences that made me fully comprehend and move a certain way to life lessons came right here in Florida. 12 and up. You know what I mean? So there's no escaping that reality.
So since we were talking about escapism, and you were saying about your escapism is history and stuff like that.
I mean, when I say escaping, like I'm trying to get away from everyday. I want to get away from my work, my job. I don't have a job. You know what I mean? Like my everyday activities. I don't have a job.
But you're still in contact with reality.
But yeah, I'm in contact with reality.
Yeah, you're still trying to move the needle. Still try to better your economic situation.
Right, yeah, exactly, all the time. But
Some people are not.
But some people, no, what I'm saying is some people in the day they will go to they will go watch TV or watch basketball, football, whatever, right? You know what I mean? Me,
Yeah.
I go read history books.
Yeah.
I go read a history document. I go pull up, you know what I mean? And I'm coordinating this and that. And that's what I'm into more than even watching. And my favorite sport is basketball. It's the only thing that can get me to watch TV or some shit like this, basketball, or watching a movie or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside of that, obviously with my wife, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. But outside of that, I'm on my own personal time. I'm trying to get away from escape from my everyday shit, responsibilities, accountabilities. I'm into history books and digging up some shit.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, right? This is how you get better. This is what I'll be trying to emphasize on. Whatever you like to do, that's great, because essentially that becomes your hobby. So anytime you have free time, that's what you should be devoting that time towards. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get better, you concentrate on things that you don't like, things that you know you need to get, that you need to put a little notch in your belt, or things you need to add to your mix. You need to focus on those things. If you don't focus on those things, then all you're doing is you're just being like a little kid. You focus on, I just like to go to recess, but I don't want to learn anything. And that's why your life ain't moving forward. And you're not actually, if you don't learn it, then you can't actually apply these principles, and then they actually become a standard of living. They become something that like it's an old saying, when you see a real skinny person, you may say, hey, they live far away from their kitchen. You live far away from being able to get this education. And because you don't want to do it, because you want to be a little kid and always, I like what I like to do all the time. And that's not how life runs. We're adults. We have to actually dig in and do stuff that we don't like to do, which means that we have to get a certain type of literacy or education in a certain area that allows us to be better and gets us out of our current situation. Because if not, you're still saying, oh, I'm doing something now. I watch these dudes and they're hilarious to me. I hate to use this term because I respect Hotep, but we call them all these Hotepping ass niggas. You get to see them and they be piling up and they be saying all this stuff. And you say, damn, man, when we start to break things down and ask you about what you're really doing, you can't tell me anything about anything. You just sit around and you just talk.
Yeah, I'm glad I got more patience than you.
They're not, it's a whole bunch of let me chase my tail. It ain't going nowhere. And when I ask you about something real, you can't talk about anything that's actually real. And you're not doing anything that's actually real. You don't have your stuff in duck in order. You're still going out here and asking somebody else to employ you. And you want to talk all this big cash money talk. You're empowering people that are listening to you to be independent, be autonomous, to be sovereign, and all these good titles. But at the end of the day, you don't have that. You can't even get me to that point. You don't even know how to get me to that point, but you talk it. And it's like, it's really great. We sit in groups and clumps and we clump up on each other talking the same crap. And it's like, man, listen, who's showing proving anything? Nobody.
Right.
Okay,
Nobody.
great. But everybody doing what they want to do, but they're not doing what they need to do. And that's why I say you have to be an adult. You can't just be a little kid like an adult. I say that's why you say adults are broken, because I can't teach you anything. I'm an open book. I like to have a mentor. I like to have somebody that's going to come in and teach me some things and say, hey, look, don't do that. Hey, man, you know what? That wasn't a bright idea. Like, man, that was great. You did a great job, and reward me and give me some accolades. You want that. If not, then you dealing with how you just want to live life, and then there's no consequences for things. You're not going to learn anything. Everything's just going to be fun. And every life ain't about being fun. Life is about you applying some principles and then enjoying the fruits of your labor. That's what it's about. We about to wrap it up?
No. I was pointing some food. Actually, I got food here.
Okay, some chicken. All right. But that's
I'll let you run. I'm eating up. I'm on lemon pepper. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting you do your thing.
Yeah, just so that's
I'm gonna let you run. Walk that down.
Like to do. Adults like to play around and do what they want to do because it's fun and it's really free. You don't have your parents telling you and coming down on you and saying, "No, don't do that." You do what you want to do, and so therefore you just stay. You get one dimensional. You don't want it. That's when you get really bad, and you're not going to learn anything. You ain't learning shit being one dimensional, and that's very important. So I like history, but I ain't going to sit there and romanticize and get stuck on it. I also like music, but music ain't making me no money. I ain't Kanye West and none of them cats. So it's like, hey, let me push that to the side. Let me see where I can get in at that I can actually make a change and actually start to move the needle a little bit. And that's what you got to do. And if you're not teaching people that, then you're really just wasting their time. And that's what a lot of that stuff be. And I don't mess around with that at all. I follow my peers. I chat with them. I'll be on Reddit. I'll be on my Twitter talking to people who are talking stuff that I'm trying to talk because I can't find it in my environment. So I try to talk to people that match up with me and my peers. and then they give me good information. We found out ways I'm making more interest. I'm like, okay, I'm getting 2 G's a month in interest. How much you getting? And we finding out different ways we can move and coming up with different strategies to make that money try to multiply. And that's what it be on. And if it ain't that, then teaching people on about how you can get it on your own. Teaching new people what's up.
Money Corner, Master Either.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a lot tonight. You know, you get that financial literacy that people don't want to hear. But it's the truth. And that's why I let you have that corner right there. You gotta get this corner in. And I agree with you. I mean, even my own self. You touch on myself. Sometimes when I be slacking. Feel me? Might get caught up in, you know what I mean? You come back and be like, man, then get back to the money. Now, for real though. No, sometimes you need somebody to snap you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No matter if it's basketball, whatever you might be caught up into your fun time. What's your priorities, right? You know what I mean? Take care of your family. Make sure you know what I mean? Like, so you're my reminder. You let the clock, your alarm going off, by the way. I want to give you sunflowers while you were living. You heard me?
That's funny.
You know what I mean? I want to give you sunflowers while you're living because you keep me awake. I can't sleep around on you. You heard me? I can't be knocked out around on you. That's why you got people around. You gotta have people around you like you that keep you like, don't, stop playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people want people to be around and be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, man. I don't like yes, man around
Yeah,
me.
you knew I was going with that. Sometimes people want people around them that's always going to agree with everything they gonna say.
Yep.
And I never agreed with really that because my sword didn't get sharpened by being around people that just say yes to me.
Right.
If it didn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. The first time you actually stepped into that deeper knowledge, whenever you started to get it, and everybody's gotten it at one point or another, is because somebody touched the funny bone and they made you think a little bit, and they blew your whole world. You thought what you knew at that point was solid, and they touch you, and you're like, wow, that's some information that I never would have thought of. And then you looked it up or you referenced it, and you're like, dang, this shit is true according to my research. And that's the same kind of vibe. And nothing wrong with that. It's the same thing. I've been like that. I remember back in the day when a lot of people don't like Malachi because he got that little child molestation thing. But back in the day when I first ran into Malachi, this was in the 80s. A lot of y'all cats met Malachi in the 90s. This was in the 80s before he even had to join in Georgia. And I was like, man, I found out some of that information and it just blew and I was like, wow, I started referencing it. And I was like, the ram's horn, everything else, the Hebrew. I was like, wow, this is true. It blew my mind. That's why sometimes when I see these same brothers who were they're race hustlers, they're trying to push that race card 24/7. I see them come up with some of this information that I heard back in 1987. It's comical at this point because I say, damn, you started to regurgitate the same shit again, and everybody's sitting around acting like it's so brand new, and we clapping for it. And I'm like, dude, you guys need to wake up, man.
Hold on. Wait, don't wait. Stay around. We're gonna go into that. We're gonna go into this conversation a little bit more deep. I got Wild Man Teddy T about to come up right now. He in the background.
I see that.
All right, so we're gonna bring up Wild Man Teddy T. He got a platform. Teddy's even up to some shit. So I gotta bring him on to holler at us and bring in some updates. And plus, we're gonna talk about some shit that we done been through. So I'm gonna play a song and come right back. You feel me? We're gonna play one song. We'll come right back. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and do a little background, and after that, I want you to stay around for it. We're gonna have a conversation. All right? I'm trying to say the time so I can have a conversation with all of us at the same time about what you just started just now. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna give him the context to drop this information, and at the same time, we gotta walk a little bit. Be right back. Be right back. Eat some wings.
I think we move around like motherfuckers. For real. For real. Yeah.
All right.
All right. You know what it is? Thomas Party Mac Acre. We in the building. I got a special guest. Why man Teddy T. What up, man?
What's the
Wild
deal,
man.
Pickle? What's the
What's going
deal?
on with you?
You know, we just vibing, man. Just had the family over, everybody for celebration for the day for the Ishtar. You know what I mean?
With
So
Ishtar.
we was live for the Ishtar for the mothers.
For the mothers. I like how you said that for the mothers. I can talk to you that way. So Teddy, man, you know, you a busy man, bro. You know, you're a classical man from down here. And I want to go a lot of places with you because, you know, since this whole pandemic shit, I ain't seen you like that since, you know, I ain't going into your personal situation, but you know what I mean. But
That's
we
right.
both we in different worlds right now, but you know what we connected to.
That's
So that's
right.
why I can always tap back into you and have these conversations. So
I mean, we live down the block from each other. Let's keep it real. You know, we
let's keep
like
it
right
real.
down the block. You know, we
Hey,
in we
that's
in the
what's crazy
hood.
about it. Like, we're literally down the street. Like, unfortunately, we're really down the street from each other, but I ain't seen your ass. I mean, you ain't seen me feeling like that, but you a busy man. I'm a busy man. We're going, but now we here. And you got something really popping right now that I think the community needs to hear. A breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go down the line on other shit that we know about, but I really want to focus on first, just first, the school situation. Let's talk to me about that.
Yeah. So you know, for the past 3 years, I've been doing our new Foundation Business Academy at Sunrise High. And the business academy is actually a business program where we took the kids that was at Sunrise High. Sunrise High was a school that kids, their last situation where they can actually get an accredited diploma to still be able to go to college. They've been kicked out of a lot of different schools, and Sunrise was the last school that actually gave them an opportunity to still get accredited diploma. So, the first year we took 15 young brothers, and not only were they not on track to graduate, but they wasn't even having a great attendance in school. So I put them in the program, and I do soft skills. Soft skills comes in with communication, professionalism, um, networking, collaborations, and then we set them up and we did a soundtrack and a documentary. The documentary won Best Youth Documentary in the Florida Film Festival, And the principal, once she agreed to the program, she never interfered with it at all until she watched the actual documentary, and she just started crying because she saw the dedication, the brotherhood, the camaraderie that we created with the kids. And then the next year, that same element, but her being the principal of the school, she realized that, her what she was just doing was making money for the management company for kids to pass tests, and it wasn't really receiving an education. So the third year, finally, up, she seen me really affecting the kids. She's like, I want to quit the school, and I want to build start a school with me and you.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, Teddy. Hold on. All right, and then we went blank for a minute. So for the last minute, I need you to go back. Go back to the start of the school because something happened. From the principal, go back to that because something happened where we weren't hearing each other. Go ahead.
All right. So so the principal, when she let us do the program, she never really interfered with the program, and she didn't really see what we did until the end of the year, when she watched the documentary. But it was funny because all the kids that were seniors actually finished school early. Like they all got their attendance and they finished school because of the program. And as the next year, more kids got involved, got a great situation set up. So finally, she realized on the level where she was at that all she was really doing as the principal was making money for the management company for them to kids to pass tests. They wasn't really receiving an education. So she told me she wanted to quit the school and for us to be able to create a school. So I hooked her up with a couple people. We had a situation set up for some daycares, but I was doing these phone calls uh, and Zoom calls during the pandemic, and I had this guy from Nigeria that was on the line, and I was introducing the fact that I got Miss Lovely and we got this educational component. So the guy from Nigeria was like, "Yo, it would be kind of cool if we guys created an online situation so we can have kids in Nigeria receive a American education."
Nigerian.
So I was like, "Okay."
Particularly Nigerian or just any type of is it who?
Well, this was particularly Nigeria. This was a gentleman that I had talked to from a long time ago. So I put him on the call. Miss Lovely happened to be on the call. I had Sister Viola on that call.
Word?
My father was on that call. Like I had a lot of different people that was on that call. And so afterwards, him and Miss Lovely continued to talk. So Miss Lovely called me back and she was like, the guy in Nigeria said we can start a school. He could probably get a lot of people interested to start in Nigeria. So I got my father on the phone, because what we have with our new foundation trust is a indigenous ecclesi civil society. And
say that again. Hold on here. Stop. Say that again.
All right, so
what?
The organization that we have set up is our new foundation trust is an indigenous ecclesi civil society. And with the ecclesi aspect, we have Bishop Washington and my father, Reverend Wilson, that does our business and consulting when we setting up with these projects. So I bought my father, and my father was able to get a partner with these people called General Solutions, which was an accredited online viral school. And they loved the idea of the fact that Miss Lovely was an African American woman, very highly experienced to be able to run the online school. So they thought the element of being able to create a online school that could be catered toward African Americans.
Well, hey, hold on. I gotta ask you questions. So based off of the fact, because I know about our new foundation trust, because I know from the beginning when you started. So indigenous ecclesiastic trust. Am I right? That's what we said.
It's an indigenous ecclesi civil society.
Civil society. I heard trust as well.
Well, because our new foundation trust is an indigenous ecclesi civil society.
Right. So now, when we deal with the fact that we're dealing with a trust, we're dealing with a civil society, we're dealing with ecclesiastic, we're dealing with indigenous. a lot of things involved with that. So when you say that the people that you have involved with the situation that you've been developing that's helping people get this opportunity that you've been building, are the people involved with the actual the new foundation understanding the capacity of you saying indigenous ecclesiastic?
Yeah, because Bishop Washington himself goes back to the Washita. He went
Wait,
to
stop,
Louisiana.
stop, 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 stop. See, I got you live on the podcast, so I want to make sure people that don't understand that. I mean, you talk like this when we talk on the phone. Remember,
Right.
we're not on the phone.
Every day.
We not exactly. This is not a phone conversation. This is a live broadcast conversation. So, matter of fact, let's rewind. Let's go back. Let's go back. What year was it when me and you, Kofi, Mecca, got in the vehicle and went to Louisiana?
2010.
When we went to Louisiana that year, we went to a powwow. What was the name of that powwow?
Washita, the Empire Washita, they dug them out here.
Right. I like to see Amaru, Washita, they dug them up.
That's right.
I just meet personally. So we went to Poverty Point that week, right? You remember that Poverty Point we went to, and we went to the mound, and you got to see LSU on the campus and all that. You was with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the standpoint of coming forward, 'cause a lot of people don't know. So when you say indigenous ecclesiastic, it started somewhere. So can you give me a little layout on your perspective of that journey, please?
Well, I mean, the whole element of we was putting together paperwork to be able to establish ourselves as an entity, which was an indigenous ecclesiastical setting, and we had created, we had moved de Amaru, but we first went in with Science Temple of She, and just the element of everything that we've ever done has always been a spiritual setting, as well as the blood of indigenous land and of who we are as a people and a nation of people. So, when we got to Washita, the one thing I was telling Sister Viola the other day when we was talking, I said
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that, when we got there and we gave her the paperwork, she said, for this powwow, we wanted to discuss creating the government, but it seems like the government came to us. So
That's a true story.
when she said that, I immediately a light went off in my head, and they immediately took our names down and put in the situation for us to start getting IDs.
Yeah, we got IDs.
And
True story.
from that point
It's a true story.
on, it was just understanding the elements of what we were in at that point, that we were actually able to become the government, become an entity of Washington. We put ourselves to be noblemen, is what it was. Even everybody that was with us wasn't all picked to be noblemen. You know what I'm saying? It was just those that they felt were the ones who should be, which was me, you, Mecca, Kofi. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Out of everybody that was out of, remember, it was a whole bunch of the guys that came with us.
Or showed up, I should say. I don't like to
Yeah.
say came with us because we came for
They didn't
in the
they didn't
vehicle.
come with us because
They come with us.
the four of us came together, but they followed. Somehow they showed up
That's how I like to call that story, ain't it, Cole?
Facts.
That's the facts of it.
yeah,
We said we
somehow
was
they showed
going.
up. I wanted to be say on public record that I never spent no time with those guys. But I did buy alcohol and food for everybody.
You did. You did. Hey, it was a hell of a weekend in Louisiana. I ain't gonna lie. I was tipsy, so I must have been on moonshine or something the first night, Cole. Remember? I
Yeah.
walked to the police officer no after the party. Was like, "Thank you for being here."
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, that's the best way to say that.
But it was just a
Anyway,
great situation to actually, when you research things and actually can go and touch and feel and smell. And I had already been to Poverty Point a year before that when I was on a tour. So when the people came, they was like, "Yo, you was here last year," and I was like, "Yeah." And
Mm-hmm.
it was just cool that we did that. So just to fast forward, in a decade, we've been able to develop a infrastructure, of situations for us all to be able to move for the purpose of raising humanity, but in our own means. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We have.
And
You know, it's,
and
Teddy,
the
hold on,
element
stop.
of the
Hold
element
on,
of
Teddy. Baron. You see, because all of us left as barons, and we might take it lightly, as you just broke down. Feel me? Now, we don't take it lightly. I know you don't, because you came on here as Baron Theo Mountain Bill. Feel me? So I know you ain't take it lightly, and I still don't take it lightly. I'm still Baron. You know what I'm saying? Cole's still Baron. You know what I mean? That Baron shit is still. You know what I mean? That's what stayed alive from that trip, and we all have educated ourselves because of that trip and moved in a certain enlightenment because of that trip. And you, and your, and, you established their new foundation off of that trip, and the new foundation has taken a role that all of us barons have supported, and seeing you could accomplish that through your plugs and your network to be able to create this educational opportunity for people. Excuse me,
yeah,
for children.
because the sustainable development is for me is defined as being able to, when we have a decolonization setting, decolonization is education. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be able to control the setup of education to be able to decolonize. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be transparent and cooperative.
Transparent
So
and what?
cooperative.
You've been saying that to me for the last 8 years.
Yeah,
I'm younger than you, so sometimes I never agree with that part. But I understand what you mean by that by now at my age now, and I'm mature to say to you that I appreciate you even giving me that guidance on not being so rebellious in my thoughts based off of what I've learned at such a young age. By the way, if I ever give you credit for that, I'm giving it to you live right now, right?
that's
Because
right.
me, I didn't go to Washington, I didn't go to Louisiana because of anybody else. Feel me, Cole? We was in Rock Island commercial at a liquor store, and you pulled up to the joint. I ain't gonna go back into all my business, but you remember that day. Feel me? And I said to you, and we had a conversation, and that conversation led to us going to Louisiana, not even half a year later. Feel me?
Oh yeah, because it was already lined up for it. It was just the elements of it to take a place. Like you are Aries, I'm a Libra, so we already a balance. You know what I'm saying? And it's polarity. So once we got in Mecca, Kofi, you know what I'm saying? We all had our own vibe, and we all put together the elements to get there. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, and they liked all of us for who we was. You know what I'm saying? That was the key. And like I just said, just being able now to be continue with putting together the educational setup. We want to do the education. We did agriculture. We got a relationship with FAMU for the agro symposium element that we put together, and then we want to move into the health awareness, which is a full sustainable development. So right now, when you see right here, this is the brochure for Five
That's the
Star
brochure?
Education.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I see you. I
I
see
see
you.
you. I see you. That's
You
that
know,
Baron shit right there.
Clap,
See?
clap.
Clap, clap. That's that Baron shit. So that's the
you know,
online corpse 5 star that
yeah,
I brought you to bring me to give so I can give this out. Five
right,
star education. That's the brochure, right?
right. The
So
the website is www.5staria.org.
hold on, pull that up, Cole. We're gonna pull it up for you. We got time. You know what I mean? I got at least another 20 minutes before I go into my round robin vibes of
Yeah,
us talking shit.
What
So
is it
for the
again?
next 20 minutes, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up for you. You said it was what? Say it again.
5staria.org.
www.5star.org.
No, ia.org.
Five star
IA.org.
IA.
Yeah,
Five star
5 star.
IA.org.
Yeah, and the people that we got working with is
www.5IA.org.
general. the people we got working with us, General Solutions, like they really are great. Like they've developed schools, and pretty much this is a high end STEM school, general
What?
education, but it's set up for technology, reputation management, and Microsoft consulting.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, we
We're
pulling
not.
it up.
But
Hold on, this it right here.
that's it right there.
That's it right there. So, uh, boom. So this is the program you got popping. Obviously, I know, like you said, I know this. You've been in the city dealing with, what I mean, the school that was off Sunrise. Say the name of the school one more time again, please.
Sunrise High.
Sunrise High. So I want you to say it so it's confident that I ain't just making it up. So Sunrise High on Sunrise, you know what I mean? If you're from the city, you're from the hill, you know what I mean, from the Broward. That's basically Lauderdale Lakes area, right?
Nah,
Correct.
Sunrise
That's considered
off of
Sunrise?
Sunrise. Sunrise
Wow.
Boulevard. Right on
No, I know
Sunrise by
Sunrise
Power
Boulevard,
Line.
but that's considered the city of Sunrise?
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, Fort Lauderdale. All right. So this from you going there and do what you did with the children and the program that you set up at that school at that time, and you developing that program, now you are here. So how did this come about again? Can you give us a little one more time, quick
We're
little
like,
backdrop on how you got to this point of where we now have access to a school where our children can go to, where they don't got to go back to the school system in the programming of what's going on and still get their credits and graduate from high school type thing. Is this correct?
yeah, you still get a diploma, an accredited diploma.
Okay, let's talk. Go ahead.
So, like I was saying, when we talked on the phone, the guy from Nigeria, when he gave Miss Lovely the ideal, I got my father on the phone, and he automatically had a partnership with the people from General Solutions, and then Mecca, he bought in his a partnership with EA Sports. So we all got on the phone, and we put the ideal together of creating this element, that Miss Lovely already had with 5 Star education. We already had that pretty much set up already as a nonprofit, and it was just the match made in heaven. The guy Steve, he loved the whole ideal. Navarro, his partner, and we just started putting together the infrastructure. They already pretty much have the template already set up. We just put 5 Star to it, and boom, within 6 months, it was put together. And like I said, it's a technology school um, first, and the focusing on technology, reputation management, and Microsoft consulting. You know what I
Word.
mean?
But the core
So
principles of a school foundation, like so, what do you start at? Like where do we start as far as children
six,
being able to enroll to the
six,
program?
sixth grade to 12,
6 to 12.
6 to
Okay.
12.
All right. So anybody from 6th grade to 12th grade can get into this program, still get credits as if they went to high school or middle school
Yeah,
and
but it's a
graduate
private.
and go
It's a
to
private.
college.
Yeah, it's a private school, so it's like it's like 12 to 13, to get in. That's why it's like it's not set up for the urban area kids. We're going after high end kids. Like in Nigeria, they want to play 3 times the amount because they
What?
they want the American education. Like the overseas people want to have the ability to have the American education,
Wait
and
a
then
second.
we want the
So you
colleges.
telling me basically this private school is open internationally
Right, that's
because
what I'm
there's people
saying.
that's over there and that anybody can roll into this program and its curriculum that's set up that they get credits for in America also gives people in Nigeria an education credited to
Anywhere.
the country
Yeah,
of America.
anywhere, any foreign country can get into our program and get an accredited American diploma, and then we're gonna partner them with a actual college or career. So the college will either be their sponsor for them to finish going to college here, or the location, the person, whoever they're going to intern on a career setting, vocational setting, will get them a work visa, and then they will be able to come work in the United States. It's like the setup is like back in the days when they created Silicon Valley, and the people from China and India was brought
Or
into Silicon Valley to get an education. Then they went back to Silicon Valley to be able to build their businesses. That's why China and India are leading in technology.
Right. You're right about
So,
that. No,
so
again, I'm only
Darren,
asking you because you
who are the high end kids? Who are the high end kids? Who are classified as high end kids?
I mean, we going after like business owner, like that money crowd. You know what I'm saying?
how much
The
it costs? How
suburban.
much it costs a year again?
What is it like? I forgot. What is
19. You
it?
said
12?
1900 for the year.
Like 10K a year, something like that. 10,
10K.
something like that. I can't.
Wait a
I
second.
can't. Don't quote me right, Chad. I
Don't quote
think.
you, boy. Y'all about to be mad at you for a minute when you said that,
No,
boy.
you know what? I think
10K.
it's
I
like
thought you said,
I think it's like 13 to 1500.
yeah. I thought you told me 19.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta.
19.
I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
spoke
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Fuck that. But at the end of the day, I mean, shit. Goddamn. I mean, that shit right there could have been 10K. So listen. Oh, God, smoke too. I'm just telling you that damn. That still ain't bad though. It's like
I think
average
it's
of
like
one.
13. I think it's like 13 to 1500.
Okay, that's what I need to know. 1,500 a year. Let's round up.
Right.
Right there.
What did it say?
Well,
What did it
hold
say?
on. Let me pull it up.
Let's read because I know you freestyling right now.
And then
Teddy,
it's like
Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. It's entertainment purposes, but we're gonna be on point because it's on the website. So we're gonna read it back to you real quick. We're gonna pull it back up.
there you go.
There you
Give
go.
it to us. Give it to the
Yeah.
people, man.
I want to make sure it's on point. You know what I'm saying? What it says. You know what I mean? Because we're not into. We don't. I don't want it to be saying some shit. And then people come at me saying, Matt, you had that nigga saying this and the website said this. Y'all pulled it up. And y'all pulled it up and y'all was saying this, talking shit. No. So what it says here is application is 250.
Yeah,
The
the
12,
application is 250 to fill. Yeah.
all right, so the tuition is $12,250 total.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Slash, which
Y'all
means
said
quarterly, $3,062.50 per quarter. All
Break
right,
it
with the
down.
expenses, breaking
Break
down
it
that
down.
is a laptop for 500, textbook fee, summer one, 1,600, summer two, 1,600,
Hey,
returning high school grad, 800
yeah.
per class.
That
Returning
box.
high school grad, that's interesting.
No, that
Adult certification
box. No,
course
the
to
blue
be
one,
announced.
the small one. Okay, on the back. Pick it up.
I'm there.
there you
Yep.
go.
You
In the
talking to
back.
me or not?
No, someone else in the back. Pull out the plug. The
Okay,
black
making sure I ain't tripping. I'm like, you talking about back up. I don't know. Hold on though. So academic school year is $12,250. So it's basically roundabout about $1,000 a month. I'm gonna add it just to be clear, 1,100.
plug
So
everything back in.
yeah, so it's
Uh,
1,100 a
there
month.
you go. Yeah, there. Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing, because like we want to build in something that's going to really have the foundation, and having that the international setting is really the plug to bring in third world people into American education. You know what I'm saying, and get accredited education to be able to go continue on in universities and colleges in America.
You know what's crazy?
That sounds like a money grab. I don't understand how that helps
Yeah.
people that are already here. I'm trying to understand how that helps people, the children that are already here that don't have a good education and they're being bypassed for you to bring children in from Nigeria. That sounds more like a money grab than it is something
Well,
that
because at that point
that actually be beneficial
we could
for
get
people.
we could get the grants and everything to be able to do the scholarships. We're going to do scholarships for those kids to come to the school from there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, you probably have access to more of those grants and those government grants
right.
if you
But
bring
we're
international students versus having those students, those domestic students.
right.
So
But
that's
just our
like I said, it's a
school,
money grab. That's not
like
necessarily benefiting the people that's here, the indigenous people here. That's the
we're
international.
Right, that don't help us though, Ted. That don't. I mean,
yeah.
I
Real
listen.
talk,
Listen,
though.
what I'm
That's
saying.
real talk.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, Master. So, Teddy, Baron, Theo,
Yeah.
the program. I'm not knocking the fact that everything that I know you connected to it and what's popping on the level, but on a business standpoint, it's a great move. But when it comes to indigenous ecclesiastic,
I mean, but you got to understand what the follow through is. You know what I'm saying? When you do a business, you're going to create the audience of what you want to put your product towards. You understand what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So what you about to talk about is a conflict of interest. We talking about
Yeah,
business.
yeah, but
You know
see,
what I'm
that's the
saying?
problem.
We already an
It's a
indigenous.
conflict. It's a conflict.
We already an indigenous setting, and so what we're
Where?
doing is for indigenous purposes for developing
How?
a fundraising for ourselves to grow to be able to bring other programs and other educational systems in,
I
along
got
which
that
these
part.
people coming through. You know what I'm saying?
This is my problem. This is my problem. I got that part. But see, I would see if you would have said that, look, um, all the people that's foreign trying to get American education are paying this tuition. And then the people that are indigenous that live here got to pay for the textbook and the computer, and they only got to pay this much money because they're indigenous and this is their education already.
No, but
So
that's
this is
what I'm
the
saying.
opportunity for them to
But
get
no,
what
no,
they
no,
need
no,
here
no, no,
and let the
no,
foreigners
no,
pay
no, no,
more
no.
because they're paying for our
But Mac,
education that allows them
no.
to come in and pick
But
up
Mac,
jobs in
listen.
our economic system where the people that we got in our system is economic already indigenously right now in a pandemic where they're trying to make people go back and take shots and shit to go back to school and people are trying to find a way for their children to stay home in their crib. You know what I'm saying? And be able to educate a child still in a system. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just want to know.
We're not specifically. We are an indigenous organization that's partnered with this educational system to educate people in general. Nothing about indigenous. Anybody can be a part of this system, but
I get that part.
to set it up for the higher education and the technical element of what we're bringing in, we're going after a certain crowd in the beginning to create the foundation of it. We also have GED, so people who didn't graduate, they can come in and get their GEDs and get their diploma set up, and they can go to college as well. You know what
But
I mean?
what about right now the average indigenous person to America? So we talk about indigenous, and
I mean, but that's what
I
I'm
got to
saying.
talking to you about going to Louisiana, dealing with
We
what
have
the
to create.
indigenous intent is ecclesiastically. So, I mean, I get in business that we're dealing with people that's foreign that are tapping into getting an educational system from the Americans because it's going to benefit them to be able to come in to compete with us who are the indigenous Americans. So I get that part, but they're going to pay their money. So how is this going to help the educational system on a private level the people that are of the Americas that are dealing with the situation here in the States? I need to really just get that part understood because it got to be some kind of program that's going to benefit. We're not paying the same price as people that's Nigerians or
No,
somebody
they're
that's not
not. No,
foundational or all these
no,
people
you're
that's
not.
arguing
They're
on this.
not.
Wait. Teddy, hold on. Listen to me, dog, because I've been listening to a lot of shit and a lot of people arguing on platforms, especially over the last 2 months. Um, FBA, ADOS, Freedmen, all these groups, Hebrews, Moors, Aboriginal Americans, Indians, etc. And all these people are arguing over one thing they have in common when I hear them talk. Is about the reparation situation. One. Second would be dealing with the benefits that come from people that are not from what we call, and I'm gonna use a general term, foundational Black Americans that were here before the Proclamation of Emancipation and before 1776 when America was first formed. So when we deal with the conversation of this politics, especially off of me and so we both come from a certain industry, party, all that other shit, but we both have this understanding too. And I understand in business, their new foundation trust has made is connected to this program that can give an educational platform for people to be able to do their thing. But how's it going to benefit the indigenous people? Is what
Well,
I
I
want to
mean,
know.
it's gonna benefit everybody because of the different platforms and different setups that we can offer through general education, vocational career, and with the EA Sports setup because of the STEM elements of it. You know what I'm
So it's
saying?
more of a
And
STEM private program because of the STEM
yeah,
elements
yeah,
of the
yeah,
education that they're going to give out through teaching you STEM.
right,
So
right.
it's more even though you're getting your core foundational, say math, history, what's the other ones?
What is science?
The core principles of school from
Science,
6th to 12th
technology.
grade. You're giving outside of that programs that's going to give people an edge, indigenous people or anybody, basically.
Anybody,
Anybody, right? Anybody can
anybody.
tap into the program. They get the core educational principles of education and this STEM program that you're speaking of, right?
Right, because we got EA Sports for programming and gaming, esports for programming and gaming. We got
Or
the that's the elective, and then we got the general education. We got vocational training. We got credited prep classes for college. Like I just partnered with this guy the other day. They're growing vegetation out from rocks, and he has a partnership with certain amount of black colleges already. They want to just do this technology strictly through black colleges and black entities. So we automatically got a partnership with them to be able to develop this element. I'm doing a sample element right now at the studio right now, but it's unlimited curriculums that we're going to put together. Like we're either going to create an indigenous history setting that people could take to be able to learn about all the different indigenous nations that existed and what they're doing. So it's unlimited curriculums that we're putting together for vocational, career, even my business academy. We're going to bring that back, but right now it's going to be strictly based off of technology, so we could draw in a certain element of student. You know what I'm saying? And then be able to bring in the vocational, bringing them into America, bringing them back in. But we're developing we're creating a school in Nigeria as well. Like the people, if we got the online setting, we're developing the areas where we're going to put the physical schools. So on the 16th, we got meetings in Detroit because my father, like I said, that's the ecclesi part. The ecclesi part is business. So my father and Bishop Washington, they do the business for us. So he's got the meeting set up for us. We have 5-star consultant because he's got other churches that want to put in the educational component into the churches for their people. So we'll be the management and train their people, because remember, we have foreign trust. So as world entities, all we do is train.
hold on, stop. You said we have foreign trust.
Yeah, the foreign trust setups.
Which foreign trust are you speaking of, real quick?
The EN9, we have EN98, so our setups are our new foundation is the foreign trust.
We educating people. It's a 98 number that you're speaking on that makes it a foreign trust. All right, so the trust setup situation, but you're indigenous because it's through the ecclesiastic. The program that's being set up is allowing foreign, also people to come in dealing with this program and benefit on the education of American credits to compete with indigenous people who may look like us.
Not. But see, you're using the term compete. We're not using the
Compete
term
in
compete.
economics. We're competing.
We're collaborating. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Everything that we do is based off of being able to collaborate, because we're educated. We're giving these people the career, and we're putting them in the place to where they are underneath our partnerships. So like your company might have a person that's going to come in, and you're gonna might pick one of these kids to come work for your company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're undermining the whole structure of what's going on here in America. We're taking jobs because you're pulling people from abroad. There's giving these people jobs people can't get those jobs. You have people here. We need to catch up with technology, and you're taking somebody from another country and bringing them here.
No, but listen,
That right there to me, I mean, I'm just saying, if you got that, that's cool. I read your website, and it is Nigerian based. You guys are really trying to market towards Nigeria. That's why you have all this foreign stuff, because you're international.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
So
look, Teddy. Wait, hold on.
Like we're what we do as entities is we build communities. Like we got to
Again, but
set up.
what about our community, dog?
We have a setup in Togo. We have a setup in Togo. We have a setup in different areas where our ability is to develop. We're taking people from America and putting them on a world assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like we're putting everybody on the world assignment, and we're putting everybody on the same universal educational system.
Yeah,
so at that point, now everything is a world setting. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, Teddy, hold on. Teddy, hold on. I just don't agree with the fact that it's called indigenous.
No, it's not. Nothing is called indigenous. It's called 5-star education. That's what we are. That's what we do.
That part.
Read that. Read everything on it. It's called 5-star education.
Let me rephrase it right. No, Teddy, hold on. Let me rephrase it right, because I'm not knocking nothing. I'm just saying what I disagree on, me and you disagree on things, but we still have an understanding of things. But this is the conversation that me and you can have. And this is a great conversation for people to get an understanding of how this economic situation is working. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly, you know your roots history-wise. You took me to Washington. I went with you to Louisiana. So we don't need to go into that part. But what I do understand is that, bruh, this part right here with the education is tapping into something that's international, and it's not really benefiting the people that.
But Mac, you know everything that I do. I don't even understand why you coming on this element, but it just really I don't even understand why you saying that. I don't even understand why you saying that. Like, listen to what you saying and listen to who you talking to. You talking to Baron Theo Mound Builder, my nigga. You talking to Baron Theo Mound Builder. What have I ever done but develop these people here?
Like this right now.
So that's what I'm telling you. You already know what we do. Look at the people who we've developed already, brother. Look at who we've developed already. Understand what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Dealing with international situations, bringing something in that's not educating.
But that's just the setting. We have a domestic and international. We have a domestic and international setting. You know what I'm saying? We have a domestic and international school. So people here in the United States can come to the school, and people internationally, anywhere, not just Nigeria, anywhere. It's a digital platform.
So this is just, again, I'm asking you a question because it's gonna be hard questions. It's gonna cover.
I mean, but when you read it, read what 5-star. You have to read what 5-star education is. Read what because it's 5-star education.
I'm not mad at that. For those that can afford it, and the Americans will pay for it and be able to benefit from it. I'm not going in on that. I'm being devil's advocate, dealing with the fact that it's indigenous, but it's not.
No. It's not. It's not.
Wait.
It's not indigenous, Matt. You can't. You can't put that in there.
Teddy.
It's not indigenous. Indigenous has we just the entity that's a part of it.
I know that. That's what I'm trying to break down. That you, as the indigenous ecclesiastic, you're tapped into a program that you're not all the way in control of, but they're targeting certain situations. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that you are that. Like, I'm just saying that you're part of a situation that's moving in this manner, but it's really not for the indigenous. I want people to get like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's for everybody. It's for indigenous. It's for everybody, Mac. It's for
it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. It's for anybody. It's not for one specific entity at all. We are, as indigenous people, we are the world people. We are indigenous to the world. We're the first world people. So there's not one land mass that we represent. We represent Mu. We are of Mu de Amaru. Okay, so there's not one. There's not one setting. You know what I mean? So at that point, we're into the world economics because we are a multinational organization. Everything we do, we deal with world business with it. That's why we deal with education. That's why we deal with agriculture. That's why we deal with health, because we deal with world situations. We deal with sustainable developments. We are a civil society in the United Nations. You see what I'm saying?
Boy, you went a lot of places with that right there, boy. See, I wasn't even, but you just went down the road. You walked it down. So let's walk
Yeah,
it back
because
real quick.
that's what
Wait a
we
second
do.
though.
So
Wait a second though.
I mean, this is a great
Wait, wait,
educational
wait, wait,
platform because
wait.
we're
Oh,
allowing
see,
people to
look, we all
understand
together
things.
though in what you just said. Move de Amaru, right? So when you say
Yeah,
move de Amaru, in our conversation, I know what move de Amaru is because I'm a part of it. So when you say
exactly.
that, I have to say to you, in the part that I play in understanding the branding of the name called Mu de Amaru and what it stands for. Also dealing with the fact that on the indigenous side of what we're talking about with that name in modern day time doesn't relate back to what you're saying, dealing with what we're talking about right now in the program. So that's why I'm making sure I'm saying to you, wait a second. The 5 Star has is a private organization that's doing an education program for anybody that can afford the tuition and can pay that money. They can benefit from the program, they can afford it, and at the same time it's worldly, meaning like you said, a worldly situation for anybody to be able to pay for private education. But that is not something that's benefiting what I would call indigenous to America.
Yeah, I mean it's
Well, he
good
said,
in
who?
business.
Who that
It's in
talking?
business because we are the beneficiaries of the elements that come in. So as it comes into us, like we're going to be able to give scholarships to kids in the underprivileged areas. They'll go to school for free. They're gonna get vouchers. They're gonna get grants. That's the easy part because we're set up as a technical school. So there'll be private. There'll be other private entities that will pay for those kids to go to the school. Flow riders send them kids to school.
Who?
Anybody, flow rider.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? These people, we'll get different people to come in to send those people to school because we're already set up. That's the whole point. That's what I'm
All right.
telling you. I don't
Okay.
understand why you would even be thinking. You
I
already know
have to
how I
ask some
operate.
questions, bro. I
You are,
have
you
to
are,
ask some
you.
questions. You
I
said
know, but
Nigerian,
that's
though.
good.
You even say
But
nothing
that's
about.
good. But that's good because people get to learn. That's what these platforms are
Right.
for.
So I'm
Education.
going to
You're
just let
doing
you
a
come
great
on here
job.
because I
You're
got to keep
doing.
it real, bro. I got to ask
You're
questions that don't
doing.
make sense to me.
You're doing a great job, Mac. I want to tell you. You know, I'm a communicator. I got the highest ratings in history on radio in both radio stations in this market, and I can tell you, you're doing a great job as being a broadcaster and a host. You're doing a great job being a devil's advocate.
Oh, thank you.
Get you a Al Sharp.
He just hit me with that shit. That nigga fresh. Hey, that's how I know your ass. Matter of fact, tell how long you been on the radio, bro. How long you been in the radio? You started with Part 86, you know what I'm saying? I know you a long time. So as much as I debate with you, see, people think that because me and Tennessee, Tennessee is a master at this kind of shit on broadcast. How long you been on the radio now, bro?
I mean, you know, I started with 99 Jams. Well, you know, I started the underground radio with Flavor 919, Mix 96 with Daddy Saw, RP, God bless my brother. I started the first underground station in Fort Lauderdale, 909 Ghetto Radio. And then I got on 99 Jams with Albie Silk, #1 in the market. Then we went to Power 96 from 2000 to 2006, 2008. I don't know, somewhere around there. #1, got the highest ratings on both stations. I'm the only person to get employed by the radio station without having a college degree. I don't even have a high school degree, let alone a college degree. I'm straight indigenous, brother. I'm from the earth.
Right now. That's it.
Boy, hey, never mind. So again, though, I want you to give me a layout on the Power 96 situation real quick before I move forward. I got a little time. Give me like a little 5 minute layout from the time that you left Power 96 and your journey to where you are right now and how you got into the new foundation. You know what I mean? I want you to give your plugs out because I appreciate you giving me the time tonight because you a busy brother and you legendary from where I'm from. You know what I mean? I got to keep it real for what you have done in our
I no
community.
doubt.
So let's go ahead.
Now, so you know, it was like when I left the radio station in 2006, I think it was, and I moved to Louisville. And while I was up in Louisville, Detroit was they was getting rid of all of the cars, all the Ford and all them were laying off a lot of people, and I was like, they don't really have no other skills but cars, and they had already been shooting movies like they do Batman. They do all the Warner Brothers movies they were shooting in Detroit. So I had created an I Knew Foundation Trust, and I told my father, I said we need to create a multimedia setting in Detroit for urban people. I said because they're gonna have to outsource um, other people to come into the city because people are too caught up in the cars and fashion. They don't understand technology and multimedia. And so he was actually able to get with I don't know if you know this lady. She did the movie with Richard Pryor. I forgot her name. And Bill Duke. He had really got into a situation with them on it. But I hadn't really set up the whole development of it. I had the ideal of it, but I hadn't had it on paper yet until when we really got together. Me and Mecca got together, and when me and you got together, we started putting the paperwork together. And from there, it was like just the setup of seeing what the Empress did. She got recognized 21593. I just followed suit on what you would do on an After Effects. So in 2013, I created our new foundation trust and registered it with the United Nations as a civil society. And from there, we began to get different information from different countries because we already had the setup of being a multimedia company and doing the means of the way Mac had wrote up the paperwork. It was really good, for us not to have no kind of experience or college education on it. We had some great paperwork that really was legitimate in the international setting for people. So we was getting a lot of inquiries from, we had Togo. I had a great 3, 4 to 5 year setup with Togo where we even got with an indigenous tribe that gave us land to build a school and was and offered us to give it to. We had to buy land for the agriculture. So this was the means to which we started getting the EIN 98 numbers and things like that, where we could build an infrastructure to be able to go in to develop townships, nations, countries, whatever. You know what
Boy,
I'm
listen
saying?
here, boy. Let me tell you, boy. See, we talk casual, boy. That paperwork. I was learning a lot at that time.
And I always told you you had good paperwork. You ain't you was kind of like I don't know. I was like, nah, this shit is real because I took it
I
to
mean,
the
I was
sheet.
just doing my study,
I took
and
it
this
to
is
the I took it to the sheet at the Moore
who?
Science Temple in
Who
Detroit.
you took it to? Who you took my
To the
paperwork to?
to the sheet of the Moore
Oh,
Science Temple in Detroit.
what'd he say?
And he said, "Man, this is some of the best writing I've seen. Like this is the shit." He said, "But was the signatures that we had, which what I was looking at. I knew the paperwork was hardcore what you was writing, but that was just a testimony for you to just continue to write. To keep doing what you was doing because you was making good paperwork, and it was cool for us because you know and the element of what we were doing is being in like founding father settings, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, what I'm saying, and elements of
Said
understanding.
Benjamin Franklin, huh?
Yeah, what I'm
You
saying,
want to
because
talk about history?
because I remember our first day I was coming in and out of Natural Trend Centers, and you was like, Teddy, Jay-Z's a Mason. I was like, yeah, me too. And you was like,
Yeah, I remember you telling me
I
that
was,
straight
and
up. A
you was
commercial
like,
on Rock Island. It's a real true story.
right,
I
and you
looked
was
at him
like,
crazy. I was like, what? What this nigga
you
just
was
said
like,
to me?
he was like, what
True
about
story.
the Nakiwai? I was like, yeah, we are the Nakiwai. He's like,
Yeah, I
what?
remember you said that shit to me too. I was
And
on the
then,
street looking at you
but
crazy.
what about the Illuminati? We are the Illuminati, huh?
I looked at him crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was a crazy day. That was an eye-opening day how you hit me because I know you already. But on this is live for the world to know. It's our history. So I couldn't expect you to lie. In the paperwork that I, came up with dealing with constitutions and United Nations and understanding who we are as a people. I mean, I
bylaws,
came across.
constitution.
Say again.
I said bylaws and constitution,
Oh yeah,
all that.
bylaws, all that shit. Yeah, yeah. I understand that shit from early. What I mean? It was just about applying it in a real setting that will allow us to cross-reference commercial and other things. You calling me out? It's true. We barons. We could do that. I'll take that from you. I appreciate you for letting me get on this journey I've been on. And it's real shit, so I want to hide who I really am. Feel me?
Now,
That's
you know,
just really what happened.
and that's the thing. It's like, you know, when we dealing with an educational component, we got to stay transparent and cooperative coming into the element.
Teddy,
So
I'm
at
gonna
that
tell
point,
you, listen, since you gave me my credit, paperwork, I understand bylaws, I understand that kind of politics, and I play stupid. A lot of people don't know, as you just brought out, and you know, based off what you've done from that point forward, and how you. That's why I'm asking these hard questions, because I know what the principles of what I wrote out was dealing with indigenous people, and I was strictly not talking about no Nigerians. So since you said that, I have to keep it real with you, because I was dealing with what we're talking about is Washita, Yamasi, Muskegee. I can go down the line. The 5 civilized tribes, the Mississippian culture, the Clovis culture. I only got a little bit more time, which you only got like 13 minutes left. So on a historical level, the Amaru, as you said, Mude, Amaru. I got a shirt out, by the way. You know what I mean? By the way, I finally dropped the shirt from that logo on the shirt. Yeah, I got it out right now. But either way, Amaru is dealing with America, not Africa. So I'm dealing with the indigenous people and the ancient history of the Americas, for the record, if anybody come check me about our conversation tonight. So I'm letting you know, I ain't got no problem in the modern day time of politics though. So that's why I salute your you know what I mean, your successes. You know what I mean? But where I stand on what my goal is for my people and what we doing and we trying to get accomplished amongst the people they call Americans. Today declassified as African Americans. And we're not African. And people get mad at me for saying that now. I get in trouble. I get arguing with my own family. They get mad at me for saying this shit live. And I done seen some shit. And you know what I'm saying to you right now is true. So it's like, come on now. I don't understand how in the situations that I've gone through. Because see, this is traumatizing. See, this make you smoke.
man, I'm
Because
gonna tell you,
that shit don't make no sense. We
I
having a
do
real
an event.
conversation, Barrett.
I do an event. I do a show every day with Reggie Mathis, Flo Rida's attorney. He graduated from Morehouse, Miami. He's an attorney at law, and he refers to me as Baron Theo Mound Builder, and I've showed him elements of the indigenous people. I showed him all the paperwork. We have conversations. He would refer to everybody as being the slaves, but I showed him, people in my family and different other people who were free people of color,
Right.
and other people of his peers, other lawyers and other people of his setting have, commented, like, wow, Teddy really knows what he's talking about, woo, 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 to the point where now he has a whole element where he talks about that because he's actually researched that on his own. Everything that I've said, he's researched on his own and it's come back to me to say, no, I see what you're talking about. Now he comments to these situations, and that's the reason why he brought the guy in that did the geo situation with growing the rocks. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands that indigenous setting. He believes in what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Florida's lawyer. I'm there every day. And everybody over there knows I'm Baron Theo Mound Builder, and they know it's accepted. You know what I'm saying? So we're bridging the gap in the hip hop world with mound builders, with the American culture being Native American, you know what I'm saying, with us being the indigenous, the pre-Columbian, whatever setting, you know what I'm saying, we're bridging the gap through all these different industries by being that, you know what I'm saying? Like when we
I
went
know Flo
to,
and them know. I know Flo and them know.
yeah,
Flo
I
Rida,
mean,
you
yeah,
round them every day, so I know you sitting around
exactly.
their ass.
Right.
I
And
know
like
they know.
when we went to FAMU, we went to FAMU and we talked to the president and we said we're an indigenous organization. We're from Washita and we've got this agro business symposium that we want to do with your school. And they said, let's go. You know what I'm saying? They didn't hesitate, and we put this together not just for indigenous people, because we're the indigenous people putting this together for everybody. You see what I'm saying? Because this is what we got to do is we all are one, we're all the same people. So that's what we got to make everybody understand, that we are all one people. There's no separation between us. And that's through color,
You sure?
race, creed, or religion.
Yeah, but look, it's listen. Well, I'm dealing with See, because you're older than me. I'm younger than you, and I come from a different generation. How we might look at those things. Yeah, we all one people, but at the same time, right? We've lost a lot of situations based off of heritage and people pulling up their patent, the land patents, and people are doing their genealogy, and it's not going back to one people. It's going back to Pacific origins of different tribes and different nations of people that were in certain territories that were allotted to their family based off their genealogy. You know what I mean? This is a true story. That's why I dig into this shit so much in history, because people are really finding results. And after they tap into the history, they go do the genealogy. They're coming up with land patents that's in their surnames. Feel me? Down their line, showing that they were indigenous to the land. That's a great feeling to know.
But those indigenous people were still all one people.
I get that part, but you have to
That's
pick your
that's
sides
that's
based off a war, my guy.
that's all
Because
I'm talking about.
but
That's all
look,
I'm talking
I
about.
had a conversation with some I had a conversation, with some peoples, right? And the whole situation is set up a certain way where I don't know, I don't know if me and you even had it gone there. You don't have to have another conversation about that because I don't got enough time to go. I only got a couple more minutes left. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go into that conversation right now with you right now online. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have that conversation. But at the end of the day, I still want to give you congratulations on the program. You know what I'm saying? And all the things that you've been doing in the community. You know what I'm saying? And you've really been touching out. You know what I'm saying? Through all the online things you're doing, you got shows going on presently right now. And I just wanted to make sure I tap into you because you were barren. I took that trip with you to Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? To the Washita Powwow, Poverty Point. You was with me on that road. So, we're going to go into all that conversation either right now. We've got to bring that up another time too. But it was an experience. And definitely I'm on my road. I'm on because of that experience too. You know what I'm saying? So I want to congratulate you in their new foundation. What we have in common is definitely the Baron. And we always going to work together on things that's going to help us better our people. But I still don't think, and that's my last part, I'm going to let you rebuttal. If we're going to have a program set up like this in this time that we're in, that we don't have an understanding of the people that are indigenous to the land of America, that were here and know their roots come from tribal organizations that are here. When we're going to talk about Washington and how they dealt with us and gave us our opportunities to do these things on an indigenous ecclesiastic level, you know, that situation that came across the table, that proclamation led to opportunities for us to deal with the indigenous side of things on a level. But when it comes to now on a global level, we're in a different time from then that we got that proclamation 10, 11 years ago on an indigenous ecclesiastic level. So when we deal with it now and we deal with people and what's going on in the current state of what's going on, I have to keep it real and say that it don't come off right that we not got nothing, a program where people being forced to take vaccines and shit. You know what I mean? This conversation can go on for another 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of complexities that go involved in what we're speaking on in the educational system right now, and how they telling people that they're not going to do no more online courses coming fall, coming next year. In certain
Yeah, that's
states,
public. That's public.
I get that part. This is private. We're talking. See, you just that again. That's why we're gonna have to have another conversation because there's a difference between public and private, and that's private.
You still
You know what I
pay.
mean?
You still paying for the
So at the
public.
end of the day, I just want to have that conversation on that level. And I appreciate you. We're gonna play a song before we get out of here. Teddy, man, get a plug, man. What you got going on right now, presently in the community, dog?
Man, right now I got I got the number 37 artists on the R&B chart. My man Seti Hendrix, Florida Boy Music. We've been consulted.
Oh, he cut off. He cut off. Hold on, Teddy. Do you hear me?
On mute.
You're on mute, Teddy. Unmute your joint. All right, come back. Wait. What's going on? I'm having to slow it up. I'm having to slow it up situation right now. Huh? Go ahead now.
All right, so I've been working with Florida Boy Music like the past 15 years, and we finally got an artist, Seti Hendricks, that we got signed to Next Generation Atlantic Records. We put a single together called 45 with our producer. We put A Boogie with the hoodie on it, and we put our own money behind it on the radio. So we at number 37 on the urban radio chart right now, national with that record. And we're like one of the biggest independent records on the charts. Also, I got the blind superstar Novocaine. He's got his label Bass Gang. We got a tour that's coming up. We got a great setup with the Coalition DJs in Atlanta. So he's got some big things going on. And always I keep the artists in the platforms, the foundation. So now the Coalition DJs and 88.7, the different DJs I got out here, Strong Arm DJs. We're gonna do a Coalition DJ out here at night on Monday, like they do in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really just bridging the gap between Atlanta and Miami to develop a lot of these independent brands to get a better setting and be able to get actual more independent setups to get more money in the music industry. Not going to labels to get signed, but staying independently and just getting that independent money like we used to do.
That's what's up. And you always been independent. You always been preaching that from the time I met you. You always been telling people to be independent, learn yourself about the system, the industry, especially music industry. That you have. I mean, people really would pay attention. You got your money right, and you could back yourself up. You know what I mean? You showed me. I back you 100% on everything you just said. If you really gonna do it independently, you just gotta educate yourself how to go about the steps of doing it and handling the business of it. So you the man to come to when it comes to that. I ain't gonna ever step on your toes on that level because everything you say is 100% correct with that. Real talk. Now, again, I agree to disagree on our perspective of foreign relations of people that look like us. I ain't got no problem with nobody, but we have a real issue right now going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's man, we're gonna have to have another. I'm gonna bring you back. We're gonna have another conversation on that, Ted. All right?
Let's get our money right first before all that.
Yeah, we gonna have another conversation on that. I'm gonna bring you back on this one. We're gonna have another update on things you're doing because you do a lot of things in our community. You can keep us updated. I appreciate the time. Shout out to you and everything you're doing. Our new foundation, trust. That was that liquor slur.
Yes,
Trust.
yes. Yes, y'all.
This is a Thomas party. Each and every Sunday is what we do. We're gonna play a song and we're gonna get out of here for the night. With in mind, I want you to think about right now what we heard tonight, the things that we talked about tonight. Wild Man, Teddy T, Baron, Theo, Mound Builder, legendary. Grace is some great information and a great conversation dealing with a lot of things that actually confront us right now, abroad and at home. Education is something that now you're going to have to be a little more govern yourself wise with it, especially if you got young ones, especially in the time we're in, dealing with all these COVID situations going on. If you do agree or not agree. Now, if you agree with it and you're going to send your child back to school, public school, whatever, I ain't getting involved with that part. If you are choosing that you don't agree with it and you're looking for other alternatives, such as a private situation that allow your child to be home, homeschooling type of information, that's one of the alternatives that he just brought up. Another option that he just brought up. I'm gonna keep it fair on the ground like a referee, black and white lines. But at the same time, I gotta keep it real. That's why I play the devil advocate and ask the questions that I don't agree with sometimes. Like why not us? It's just the same thing. I hear these people on the application on Clubhouse talk about in these rooms with 700, 800 people talking about Freedmen and Foundation of Black American and ADOS and reparations and are we supposed to get land and they're waiting for something. So what you just said has nothing to do with them because to get involved with what you're talking about, you got to put your money up. That's what it comes down to. I keep it real on some street shit. That's have your money right or don't talk to me tonight. I appreciate you, lad. Peace and love. We out of here. Teddy, you got anything else to say?
Man, peace and love, man. Love what y'all doing. Tournaments is for everybody. Y'all lock in every Sunday, man. It's what it's about. It's all live, baby. Bear inside me, brothers. Hey! I got
You
my
know what
brother
it is.
Mecca.
You know what it
I got
is.
my brother Mecca Bay. He in the building with me.
Mecca, that's
say
Mecca
what
talking
up.
shit. Show his face. Tell him to show his face real quick, man.
Mecca.
Why you in the background acting like you ain't there? I ain't hear you act
What
like you don't
happened?
come, man. Don't be doing that, bro. Pull up. You act like
What
you don't.
happened? What happened? Was
What
everything
happened,
good?
man?
What's happening?
Yeah,
No, man, you know what it is.
we was wondering who that was in the
You ain't talking
background.
shit in the background like that. You know we talk shit
No,
to you
hey,
like
Oh,
that's
look,
how we do it, ain't it?
this was my time. This was my time. That nigga got to get
No,
his
no,
own
you know how
time.
we do it though.
hold on, bitch.
We on some real digital
Hey,
shit. You know how we do. Agree to
I can't
yeah.
see
disagree. Mecca,
Kofi.
what the fuck? What
Hey,
up?
I can't see Kofi, so you can't see Mecca. Where
Hey.
Kofi
Ah,
at? Where Kofi ass at?
Where
Where Kofi ass
I'm right
at?
here. You
Kobe
can't
right
see
there.
me?
You can't see. Can't you see?
You can't see me?
Nigga, fuck you
Ah,
mean, nigga?
hold on.
Shit you think this is?
You can't see me?
Clan,
There you
you
go.
gonna be on some
There
clan
go
B shit
Okay.
going
Kofi.
on right now.
Kofi, what
Hey,
Yeah.
Baron,
happened?
nigga.
Kofi in the
Yeah.
What the
building.
fuck?
What's going on?
What happened? Yeah, we know
Yeah.
what it is. Hey, y'all boys, we gonna holler at y'all in a minute.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what it is. It's
Yeah.
always love though. Disagree to disagree. I love y'all. Real shit. I ain't gonna lie. I never forget what y'all done did for me. It's real shit. Yo, we out of here. Thomas Party. Music Media Lounge each and every Sunday, 8 to 11 o'clock. Sometimes we go over a little bit. I appreciate Ticker for letting us do that. You know what I mean? Don't forget each and every Sunday, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. The Money Corner. We always going to talk about economics. We're going to have a little fun, though. We're going to see, we debate. Sometimes we keep it real. We don't always get on here and just be on some yes man shit either. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it is when you're trying to real build some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So, Baron Sandy Brothers, Thriller Campaign, Thomas Party, we out of here. Mac Aether, my man P. God the Green. Co.
Yeah.
We out of here. Peace.